The day the aliens came changed everything. It was a Tuesday morning when the massive ships appeared in the skies above every major city on Earth. They didn't attack. They simply waited, hovering silently, their dark hulls reflecting the sunlight. John Carter was eating breakfast when his phone rang. As Earth's ambassador for extraterrestrial affairs, a position most people had considered symbolic until now, he was being called to Washington immediately. 6 hours later, John sat in the White House Situation Room with Defense Secretary Laura Mitchell and other government officials. The aliens had sent a message. They wanted to talk. "They call themselves the Galactic Council," said Laura, her face tight with worry. "Apparently, they govern most of the Milky Way. They want to meet tomorrow at the United Nations." John nodded. "Do we have a choice?" "Not really," she replied. The meeting hall at the UN was packed. Representatives from every nation watched as the alien delegation entered. Their leader was tall and thin with blue-tinted skin that seemed to shimmer under the lights. He called himself Ambassador Zixthor. "We have been watching your species for some time," Zixthor said, his voice oddly musical through the translation device. "We observe all developing intelligent life in this sector of the galaxy." John stepped forward. "We welcome peaceful contact and hope to join the galactic community." The alien's expression didn't change. "That is not possible." A murmur ran through the human delegates. "Humanity is too unpredictable," continued Zixthor. "Your species developed nuclear weapons before achieving world peace. You wage war over resources and beliefs. Your entertainment glorifies violence. The Council has voted. Earth is classified as a danger to galactic stability." Laura Mitchell stood up. "That's not fair. We've made great progress. Our wars are fewer, our cooperation is growing. You can't judge an entire species on its past." "We judge based on potential threat," replied Zixthor. "The Council's decision is final. Humanity must remain confined to your solar system until you evolve beyond your violent tendencies. This may take thousands of years by your counting." "You're imprisoning an entire planet," John asked in disbelief. "Consider it protection. For you and for us. A barrier will be placed around your solar system. Any attempt to pass beyond it will be met with force." For 3 days, the world's leaders argued, pleaded, and finally threatened. Nothing changed the Council's decision. On the 4th day, strange devices were positioned at the edge of the solar system. When activated, they created a shimmering energy field that enclosed Earth and its neighboring planets completely. Before leaving, Zixthor made one final appearance at the UN. "Your containment is now complete. The barrier allows light and certain particles to pass, but no solid matter can cross it. Be grateful for our mercy. Other Council members wanted your species eliminated as a precaution." As the alien ships departed, John Carter watched from the window of his office. "This isn't over," he whispered. In the months that followed, Earth changed. Old enemies became allies against a common situation. The nations of the world slowly began working together in ways they never had before. The Global Defense Initiative was formed, bringing together the best scientists, engineers, and military minds from around the world. Their mission was clear: find a way past the barrier and show the galaxy that humanity wouldn't be caged. Dr. Olivia Grant led the science division, focusing on the alien technology left behind. "They made a mistake," she told her team during their first meeting. "They left samples of their tech during the visits. Not much, but enough for us to study." Meanwhile, Navy Captain William Hayes was chosen to lead a secret project called Phoenix. Its goal was to build Earth's first ship capable of faster-than-light travel. "We have one advantage," Hayes said to his crew. "The Council thinks we're safely locked away. They don't expect us to break out anytime soon. That gives us time to prepare, to build, to become stronger." As the barrier shimmered overhead at night, replacing the stars with its eerie glow, the people of Earth looked up and felt not despair, but determination. Humanity had been judged, found wanting, and exiled by beings who thought themselves superior. They would soon learn their mistake. 20 years passed since the day Earth was cut off from the stars. The shimmering barrier remained, a constant reminder of humanity's prison. But humans are not good at accepting limits. Alan Russell walked through the underground facility known as the Hive. As director of the Global Defense Initiative, he had overseen humanity's greatest technological leap. The walls around him were lined with screens showing scientists at work on various projects. "Director Russell," a voice called. Dr. Olivia Grant approached, her lab coat slightly wrinkled from another all-night work session. "We've made a breakthrough with the alien power source." Alan smiled. Olivia had been just a promising young scientist when the exile began. Now she was humanity's leading expert on alien technology. "Show me," he said. In her lab, Olivia pointed to a small device glowing with blue energy. "We finally decoded how it works. It's not fusion or fission. It uses quantum fluctuations to draw energy from what the aliens call subspace. Can we replicate it?" "We already have." Olivia held up a similar device, but clearly of human manufacture. "This is 100% Earth-made. With this, we can power the Phoenix indefinitely." Alan's eyes widened. The Phoenix project had been humanity's most ambitious undertaking, building a ship capable of breaking through the barrier. 20 years of secret work, hidden in a base beneath the Mojave Desert. "Admiral Hayes needs to know," Alan said. William Hayes, once a Navy captain and now an admiral, stood before the gleaming hull of the Phoenix. Unlike the clunky rockets of the past, this ship was sleek and built for speed. Its hull contained materials reverse-engineered from the small pieces of alien technology left behind during the Council's visit. "Admiral," a young woman approached. "The new power core is ready for installation." Kate Freeman was the youngest test pilot in the program. At 26, she had never known a world without the barrier. She had been a child when the aliens came, but she remembered looking up at the night sky and seeing stars, not the shimmering wall that now enclosed the solar system. "Thank you, Freeman," Hayes said. "Are you ready for the test flight tomorrow?" Kate nodded. "Yes, sir. I've completed over 200 simulations. If the new power core works as expected, we'll be able to push the Phoenix to its limits." "Good, because its limits might be our only chance of breaking through." Later that day, Kate sat with her friend and fellow crew member, Daniel Cruz. As the Phoenix's lead engineer, Daniel had helped design many of the ship's systems. "Do you really think we can break through?" Kate asked, her voice low. Daniel looked around the cafeteria to make sure no one was listening. Despite the unity the exile had brought, there were still those who thought challenging the Council was too dangerous. "The barrier is energy," he said, "and every form of energy has a frequency. Dr. Grant believes the Phoenix's engines can create a counter-frequency that might disrupt it, just for a moment, long enough for us to slip through." "And then what?" Kate asked. "We'll be alone out there, with the entire Council probably hunting us." "Not entirely alone," Daniel replied. "The long-range scanners have picked up signals. There are other civilizations out there that aren't part of the Council. Some might help us." The next morning, Kate sat in the Phoenix's pilot seat, running through pre-flight checks. The ship hummed with power, the new core pulsing with blue light at its heart. Admiral Hayes's voice came through her headset. "Freeman, this is a test flight only. Stay within Mars orbit. We're not ready for a breakout attempt yet." "Understood, Admiral," Kate replied. As the Phoenix rose from its underground hangar, Kate couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. The ship represented humanity's refusal to accept their exile. While the Council believed humans were safely contained, learning their lesson, humanity had been preparing for their return. The Phoenix shot into the sky, faster than any craft Earth had built before. As it reached orbit, Kate looked out at the stars, visible through the barrier but untouchable. Not for much longer, she thought. The day of the real test came sooner than expected. Kate Freeman stood in Admiral Hayes' office, barely believing what she was hearing. "You want us to attempt a barrier breach now?" she asked. "I thought we needed more tests." "Plans change," Admiral Hayes said. "Our deep space sensors detected unusual activity beyond the barrier. Something's happening out there, and we need to know what." Kate nodded. "When do we leave?" "Tomorrow," Hayes replied. "You'll take Daniel Cruz as your engineer and Patricia Nelson as your communications specialist." Patricia was the GDI's top xenolinguist. She had spent the last 20 years studying the limited samples of alien language left behind after the exile. The next morning, Kate, Daniel, and Patricia boarded the Phoenix. The ship gleamed under the hangar lights, humanity's most advanced creation. "All systems ready," Daniel reported from his station. "Translation matrix online," Patricia added. Kate took a deep breath. "Phoenix to control. We're ready for launch." Director Russell's voice came through the speakers. "Godspeed, Phoenix. Make humanity proud." The ship rose from Earth, quickly leaving the atmosphere. Kate pushed the engines to full power, and the Phoenix shot toward the edge of the solar system, where the barrier shimmered like a giant soap bubble. "Activating the disruptor now," Daniel said, his fingers flying over the controls. The Phoenix shuddered as waves of energy pulsed from its hull. The barrier ahead began to flicker. "It's working," Patricia called out. Kate increased speed. "Hold on." The Phoenix hit the weakened section of barrier. For a moment, everything seemed to freeze. Then, with a flash of light, they broke through. "We did it," Daniel shouted. Kate quickly turned the ship around to look back. The hole they'd made was already closing. "No going back that way," she said quietly. Patricia's console began beeping. "I'm picking up distress signals. Multiple sources, about 2 light years from here." Kate made a decision. "Let's investigate. Set course." The Phoenix is faster than light drive, engaged for the first time, and the stars blurred around them. Minutes later, they arrived at the source of the signals. A planet hung before them, its surface scarred with massive impact craters. Around it, the wreckage of ships floated like dead leaves on a pond. "What happened here?" Kate whispered. "There's a survivor," Patricia said suddenly. "One life sign on that small vessel." Kate maneuvered the Phoenix alongside the damaged ship. Using the mechanical arm, they'd brought it into their cargo bay. Inside was a being unlike any they had seen before. Its skin was pale green, and it had 4 arms. It was injured but alive. Patricia approached it slowly, speaking through her translation device. "We are humans from Earth. We mean you no harm." The alien's eyes widened. "Humans. From the quarantine system. How did you escape?" "We built this ship," Daniel said proudly. "Who are you? What happened here?" "I am Trillax, a scientist from the Council," the alien replied. "This colony was attacked by the Scourge, a new enemy that has appeared in the galaxy. They destroy everything in their path." Kate frowned. "The Galactic Council that imprisoned us. Why should we help you?" Trillax looked down. "The Council made a mistake with your species. I know that now." "What do you mean?" Patricia asked. "You were not exiled because you were dangerous," Trillax explained. "You were exiled because certain Council species feared your potential. Humans adapt faster than any species we've encountered. Some worried that in a few centuries, you might surpass even the oldest Council races." Daniel laughed without humor. "So they locked us away out of fear." "Yes," Trillax admitted. "But now the galaxy needs that human ability to adapt. The Scourge cannot be defeated by conventional means. Every strategy the Council tries fails." Kate looked at her crew members, then back at the alien. "If we help you, what guarantee do we have that Earth will be freed?" "None," Trillax said honestly. "But I can take you to those who might be willing to stand against the Council. There are other species who disagreed with your exile." Kate thought for a moment. "Set a course to wherever these potential allies are. It's time the galaxy learned that humanity won't stay in a corner. As the Phoenix jumped to light speed again, Kate felt a mix of fear and hope. They had broken free, but now they were in the middle of a war they knew nothing about. And somewhere out there, the Council would soon learn that their prison had been breached. The Phoenix traveled for 3 days following Trillax's directions. Kate and her crew took turns watching over their alien guest, who slowly recovered from his injuries. "We're approaching the coordinates," Daniel announced from his station. "Dropping out of FTL now." The ship slowed, and a massive asteroid field appeared before them. Hidden among the rocks was a space station, built into the largest asteroid. "That's the headquarters of the Free Systems Alliance," Trillax explained. "They broke away from Council rule decades ago." Patricia studied the station through the view screen. "How do we approach without being shot down?" "Use this frequency," Trillax said, inputting a code into their communication system. A voice crackled over the speakers. "Unidentified vessel. State your business or be destroyed." Kate leaned forward. "This is Captain Kate Freeman of the Earth ship Phoenix. We've escaped the barrier and seek allies against the Galactic Council." Silence followed. Then, "Earth ship. Stand by for docking instructions." The Phoenix was guided to a hangar inside the asteroid. Armed guards of various alien species met them as they exited their ship. Among them stood a human woman. "I'm General Maura Jones," she said, studying Kate and her crew with surprise. "I never thought I'd see other humans out here." Kate stared in shock. "You're human. How is that possible?" "I was part of a deep space mission when the Council quarantined Earth," Maura explained. "By the time we returned, the barrier was in place. We couldn't get home, so we found our way here." "Are there others?" Daniel asked. Maura nodded. "About 3,000 humans scattered throughout Alliance territory. We've established a few small colonies. Follow me." She led them to a command center where maps of the galaxy filled large screens. Areas marked in red showed the spread of the scourge. "The situation is worse than Trillax probably told you," Maura said. "The scourge has already destroyed 15 Council worlds. Nothing stops them." "What exactly are they?" Patricia asked. "We're not sure," Maura replied. "Some kind of engineered biological weapon that went wrong. They consume all organic material on a planet, then move on." Kate studied the maps. "And the Council can't stop them." "The Council is arrogant," Maura said with bitterness. "They rely on technology that hasn't changed in millennia. They've forgotten how to innovate." Daniel grinned. "That's where we come in. Earth has done nothing but innovate for the last 20 years. Kate noticed how Alliance members looked at them with interest. "You want our help," she said to Maura. "But what do we get in return?" "An alliance," Maura replied. "Help us fight the scourge, and we'll help you free Earth from the barrier." Kate considered this. "We need to return to Earth first. Let them know what's happening out here." Maura shook her head. "The hole you made is closed. We'd need a fleet to break through the barrier again." "We have something better," Daniel said. "The Phoenix recorded data on the barrier's frequency. With that information, Earth can build a device to disrupt the entire thing, not just make a temporary hole." Maura's eyes widened. "That changes everything." Later, in private quarters, Kate spoke with her crew. "What do you think? Can we trust them?" Patricia nodded. "General Jones is human, but she's been out here 20 years. Her loyalty is to the Alliance now." "We don't have many options," Daniel pointed out. "We need allies to free Earth." Kate made her decision. "We'll work with them, but our primary mission is getting back to Earth with what we've learned." The next morning, Kate met with Maura again. "We'll help you, but first, we need resources to upgrade the Phoenix for the return journey." Maura smiled. "Done. And I'll send a small team with you. If what Daniel says about disrupting the barrier is true, we'll need to coordinate our fleets for what comes next." Kate extended her hand. "Looks like humanity found unexpected allies after all." As they shook hands, Kate couldn't help but feel hope. Earth wasn't alone in the galaxy. And soon, they would show the Council just how much humanity had grown during their exile. For the first time since breaking through the barrier, Kate felt certain they would succeed. The journey back to Earth took longer than expected. The Phoenix, now upgraded with Alliance technology, carried not only its original crew, but also a small team of Alliance representatives, including a tactical officer named Vexilor, a member of a species known for their strategic thinking. "We're approaching the barrier," Daniel announced from his station. The view screen showed the shimmering wall that had contained humanity for 2 decades. Kate looked at Vexilor. "Will your disruptor work?" The alien nodded. "Combined with your data on the barrier's frequency, it should create an opening large enough for your ship to pass through." "Activating disruptor now," Daniel said. The ship hummed as the new device powered up. Ahead, the barrier began to waver, then split open like a curtain being pushed aside. "It's working," Patricia exclaimed. Kate guided the Phoenix through the opening. As they passed, the barrier closed behind them, but not before their sensors recorded everything about the process. "Sending signal to Earth now," Patricia said, using the old emergency channels. Minutes later, a response came. "Phoenix, this is Earth Defense Command. Proceed to coordinates for security verification." 6 hours later, Kate stood in a conference room at GDI headquarters. Director Russell, Admiral Hayes, and Dr. Grant listened intently as she explained everything they had discovered. "Other humans out there," Admiral Hayes said, shaking his head in amazement. "And this Free Systems Alliance wants our help against the Scourge." "They offer help in return," Kate replied. "Their technology combined with ours could bring down the entire barrier." Dr. Grant was examining the alien tech they had brought back. "This is fascinating. Their approach to energy manipulation is completely different from what we developed." Director Russell stood up. "It's time to show you what we've been building during your absence." He led them to a massive underground hangar. Kate gasped at what she saw. Dozens of ships, similar to the Phoenix but larger, lined the enormous space. "We used the Phoenix prototype to design a fleet," Admiral Hayes explained. "We've been preparing for this day for years. These ships are ready for action, just waiting for the right moment." "How soon can we move?" Kate asked. "That depends on Dr. Grant," Director Russell replied. All eyes turned to Olivia, who was already working with Daniel to combine their technology with the Alliance designs. "The barrier disruptor can be scaled up," she said without looking up from her work. "Give me 1 week to adapt it to cover the entire barrier." Director Russell nodded. "Then we begin Operation Homecoming in 1 week. Admiral Hayes will command our fleet." Over the next 7 days, Earth prepared. The news of alien allies and the truth about their exile spread across the planet. Thousands volunteered for the mission. The Phoenix crew became instant heroes. On the day of the operation, Kate stood on the bridge of the Phoenix alongside Admiral Hayes and Vexilor. Her ship would lead the fleet. "All ships report ready," Patricia announced from her communications station. Admiral Hayes looked at the fleet status on his screen. "Send the signal to the Alliance. Tell them we're moving." The Earth fleet rose from hidden bases around the planet. 50 ships, each carrying the technology to disrupt the barrier permanently. "The world is watching," Director Russell said from Mission Control. "Good luck." As the fleet approached the edge of the solar system, Dr. Grant activated the master disruptor from her lab on Earth. The barrier began to shimmer, then fade. "It's working," Daniel called out. Section by section, the barrier that had imprisoned humanity for 20 years disappeared. The stars became clear again, no longer distorted by the alien energy field. Admiral Hayes stood tall on the bridge. "Fleet, prepare to proceed to Alliance territory. Today, humanity returns to the galaxy." As the Earth ships moved beyond the solar system for the first time in 2 decades, Kate felt pride swell in her chest. The Galactic Council had tried to contain humanity, to keep them isolated and powerless. Instead, they had created a force unlike any the galaxy had seen before. The Earth fleet moved through space, following the coordinates provided by the Alliance. Admiral Hayes stood on the bridge of the flagship, now named Defiance, watching as his crews adjusted to the reality of interstellar travel. Multiple ships detected ahead. A sensor officer called out. They appear to be Scourge vessels attacking an Alliance outpost. Hayes turned to Kate, who served as his second-in-command. Looks like we'll get to test our weapons sooner than expected. Order the fleet to battle stations. The Earth ships approached the battle zone. 3 insect-like Scourge vessels were firing on a small Alliance station. Bodies and debris floated in space around it. The station is still transmitting a distress signal. Patricia reported from her communications post. There are survivors inside. Hayes nodded. Launch fighters. Target the Scourge ships, but avoid hitting the station. Earth's fighters swarmed from the larger vessels. Unlike the sleek alien ships, Earth's fighters were built for power and durability. They surrounded the Scourge vessels, firing weapons based on Dr. Grant's adaptations of alien technology. The Scourge ships have some kind of organic hull. Daniel reported from his engineering station. It's absorbing our energy weapons. Kate watched the battle unfolding. Switch to projectile weapons. Sometimes old technology works best. The Earth fighters adjusted their attack, launching solid missiles instead of energy beams. The projectiles tore through the organic hulls of the Scourge ships, causing them to break apart. It's working, Hayes said with surprise. The Scourge has no defense against physical weapons. Within minutes, all 3 enemy ships were destroyed. Earth's fleet moved in to rescue the station's survivors. Among those saved was a council diplomat named Rentu. She stared in shock as humans helped her aboard the Defiance. Humans, outside the barrier. How is this possible? She asked when brought to the bridge. Hayes introduced himself formally. The barrier no longer exists. Earth has returned to galactic space, and we've allied ourselves with the Free Systems Alliance. Rentu's eyes widened. The Council must be informed immediately. The Scourge is overwhelming our defenses everywhere. We've lost 17 more worlds since the attacks began. Why should we help the Council? Kate asked. They imprisoned us for 20 years. Because innocent people are dying, Rentu replied simply. And because you're proving the Council wrong with every action you take. Hayes considered this, then made his decision. We'll escort you to the nearest Council outpost. From there, you can inform your leaders that Earth is willing to discuss terms for mutual aid against the Scourge. Over the next several days, Earth's fleet continued its journey, rescuing more stranded ships and defending Alliance outposts. Word of the humans' return spread quickly through the galaxy. Stories of their unusual tactics and effective weapons against the Scourge raised hope among threatened worlds. At a joint meeting with Alliance leaders, Hayes presented Earth's terms for helping the Council. First, formal recognition of Earth as a sovereign power, he stated to the gathered representatives. Second, removal of all technology restrictions. Third, reparations for the years of isolation. General Mara Jones nodded in approval. The Alliance supports these terms. Together, our forces have already pushed back the Scourge in 3 systems. A Council representative named Zolfar looked uncomfortable but nodded. The Council will consider your terms, but we need your help immediately. Our homeworlds are under direct attack. We'll help now, Hayes replied. But when this crisis ends, the galaxy's power structure must change. As the meeting concluded, Kate pulled Hayes aside. Sir, Patricia has decoded some Scourge communications. There's something strange about them. What do you mean? They contain Council security codes, Kate said quietly. Codes that should only be known to high-ranking Council members. Hayes frowned. Are you suggesting the Scourge might be connected to the Council somehow? I don't know, Kate replied. But Patricia and Daniel think we should investigate. With your permission, I'd like to take the Phoenix on a reconnaissance mission. Hayes nodded. Do it, but be careful. If someone in the Council is behind this, They won't want to be discovered. As Kate prepared the Phoenix for its mission, Earth's main fleet moved toward Council space, ready to face the Scourge in a major battle that would announce humanity's return to the galactic stage in dramatic fashion. The Phoenix moved quietly through space, its engines modified to avoid detection. Kate, Daniel, and Patricia had added one more member to their crew, Trillax, the Council scientist they had rescued earlier. "We're approaching the coordinates," Daniel said. "Sensors show a research station hidden in the asteroid field." Kate nodded. "Any signs they've detected us?" "None," Patricia replied. "Their communications are active but encrypted. I'm working on breaking the code." Trillax looked nervous. "This station doesn't appear in any official council records. It shouldn't exist." Kate guided the Phoenix behind a large asteroid. "Then let's find out what they're hiding." "Daniel, prepare the stealth shuttle." Soon, Kate, Daniel, and Trillax were aboard the small craft heading toward the station. They wore environment suits with helmets that hid their faces. "Remember," Kate said, "we need proof of a connection between the Council and the Scourge." Nothing more. They docked at an emergency airlock, and Trillax used his Council codes to get them inside. The station was dimly lit and eerily quiet. "Life signs detected in the main laboratory," Daniel whispered, checking his scanner. They moved carefully through the corridors until they reached a viewing window overlooking a large lab. Inside, several Council scientists worked around tanks filled with a strange, shifting black substance. "That's Scourge material," Trillax whispered in horror. "They're cultivating it." Kate pointed to a figure overseeing the work. "Who is that?" Trillax's voice shook. "Ambassador Zixthor, the same one who ordered Earth's quarantine 20 years ago." Daniel took pictures with his scanner. "We need to download their research data." They found a computer terminal, and Daniel began the download while Kate and Trillax kept watch. "Hurry," Kate urged. "Something feels wrong." "Almost done," Daniel replied. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. A voice echoed over the speakers. "Intruders detected in Sector 7. Security teams respond." "We need to move now," Kate said. They ran back toward their shuttle, but turned a corner to find 3 armed guards blocking their path. "Halt!" one guard shouted. Kate didn't hesitate. She fired her weapon, stunning 2 guards while Daniel took down the 3rd. "This way," Trillax called, pointing to a service corridor. They reached their shuttle and detached from the station just as more guards arrived. The Phoenix was waiting for them, and Patricia had the engines ready. "We've got company," she warned as they boarded. 2 patrol ships just entered the asteroid field. Kate took the pilot's seat. "Get us out of here. Maximum speed." The Phoenix shot out from behind the asteroid, drawing immediate fire from the patrol ships. Kate's piloting skills kept them ahead of the worst hits. "Did you get what we needed?" Patricia asked. Daniel was already transferring the data to the main computer. "Everything. Their entire research program. The Scourge isn't a natural enemy. It's a biological weapon created by a faction within the Council called the Progenitors. They engineered it to attack their enemies, but it got out of control. And Zixthor is one of the leaders," Trillax added. "He must have quarantined Earth, not because humans were dangerous, but because he feared they might interfere with his plans." Kate dodged another volley of fire. "We need to get this information to Admiral Hayes and the Alliance immediately." The Phoenix shot into FTL speed, leaving the patrol ships behind. Hours later, they arrived at the rendezvous point where Earth's fleet was preparing for a major battle alongside Alliance forces. Admiral Hayes reviewed their evidence in shock. "This changes everything. We're not just fighting the Scourge. We're fighting a conspiracy within the Council itself." News of the discovery spread quickly through both fleets. Many Council ships and worlds, upon learning the truth, broke away from Central Command and joined the human Alliance forces. Ambassador Zixthor appeared on an emergency broadcast to all Council worlds. "These are human lies. They seek to divide us when we must stand united against the Scourge threat. But the evidence was too strong to deny. More council members defected each hour. The council is splitting apart, General Mara Jones told Hayes. About half their fleet has joined us already. Hayes nodded grimly. Then it's time to end this. Set course for the council capital. We're going to confront Sixth Thor and his progenitors directly. As Earth's fleet prepared for the final battle, Kate looked out at the stars. 20 years ago, humanity had been judged, found wanting, and locked away. Now, they were about to reshape the galaxy. The combined fleet of Earth, Alliance, and defected council ships approached the massive space station that served as the Galactic Council headquarters. It hung in orbit around a blue-green world, surrounded by defensive platforms and loyal council vessels. Admiral Hayes stood on the bridge of the Defiance, looking at the tactical display. This won't be easy. The progenitors still control about 40% of council forces. Director Russell's face appeared on the main screen. He had traveled from Earth to witness this historic moment. Remember, we want Sixth Thor and his conspirators, not destruction of the council itself. Understood, Hayes replied. Kate, you'll lead the infiltration team while our fleet engages their outer defenses. Kate nodded. Her mission was critical. She would take the Phoenix through the battle to board the station and capture Sixth Thor with help from Daniel, Patricia, and a team of Alliance soldiers. All ships, battle formation, Hayes ordered. Begin the approach. The human fleet moved forward. Unlike the elegant, uniformed ships of the Council, Earth's vessels were diverse in design, built for different purposes. Some were heavily armored, others quick and nimble. This unpredictability had already proven effective against the Scourge, and now it confused the Council defenders. They're targeting our larger ships, Patricia reported from her station. As expected, Hayes replied. Launch fighters and activate point defense systems. Hundreds of Earth fighters swarmed from the fleet. They targeted the Council's weapon platforms with precision strikes, creating gaps in the defensive line. There's our opening, Kate said. Phoenix ready for launch. Good luck, Hayes told her. We'll keep them busy. The Phoenix shot from the Defiance's hangar, its stealth systems activated. Kate piloted it through the chaos of battle, avoiding detection as they approached the station. Docking port ahead, Daniel reported. Their shields are down in that section. Kate guided the ship to the port. Once secured, they moved quickly through the station, following a map provided by Council defectors. They encountered resistance but pushed through. Meanwhile, in the main Council chamber, Sixth Thor was arguing with the remaining Council members. We must stand firm. Humans were never meant to have a place in our galaxy. The progenitors have guided civilization for millennia. A loud explosion rocked the chamber as Kate's team breached the doors. Alliance soldiers secured the room, while Kate approached Sixth Thor directly. Ambassador Sixth Thor, you are under arrest for crimes against multiple species, including the creation and deployment of the Scourge weapon, she announced. Sixth Thor glared at her. You cannot judge me, human. Your kind is too young to understand the burden of guiding galactic civilization. Young doesn't mean wrong, Kate replied. And old doesn't mean wise. Your weapon has killed millions. Your time is over. Outside, the battle had turned decisively in favor of the Earth Alliance forces. Most remaining Council ships surrendered when news spread that Sixth Thor had been captured. 3 days later, representatives from all major species gathered in the Council chamber. The progenitor faction had been removed from power, and a new leadership structure was being formed. Director Russell, now serving as Earth's ambassador, addressed the gathering. 20 years ago, humans were judged unworthy to join galactic society. Today, we help reshape it. Earth proposes a new council, where all species have equal voice, regardless of how long they've been among the stars. The proposal was met with widespread approval. Even former council loyalists recognized that the old system had failed. Dr. Grant presented her latest work, a method to neutralize the Scourge using Earth-based biological compounds. What the progenitors created, we can undo, she explained. With cooperation from all species, we can end this threat forever. As the new Galactic Alliance formed, Earth took its place as a full member. Kate Freeman was given command of a new exploration vessel to map unknown regions beyond former Council space. Admiral Hayes watched as ships from dozens of worlds docked at Earth for the first time, establishing embassies and trade agreements. They thought isolation would weaken us, he said to Director Russell. Instead, it made us stronger. Russell nodded. Humanity had to find its own path without outside influence. Now we bring fresh ideas to a galaxy that had grown stagnant. Far from the exile being Earth's downfall, it had become the catalyst for humanity's greatest achievement, bringing renewed hope and unity to a troubled galaxy.